Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining. My name is Linda Denude, and I'm a health educator with Community Health at Atlantic Health System. Today's webinar, Springtime Foods, will be presented by Barbara Galvin. Before we begin, I have a few announcements. All participants are muted. If you have a question, please use the Q&A. And for comments, please use the chat. We'll try to get through all comments at the end of the presentation along with questions. Are you or a loved one interested in smoking cessation? Atlantic Health System offers a free quit smoking program. This program includes an individual assessment, free nicotine replacement products, and six weekly group meetings that help you quit and stay smoke-free. There are multiple dates and times available, with groups available in person or virtually. For more information about these groups and other resources, or for additional dates and times, please call 1-844-472-8499. I'm now going to turn it over to Barbara.
Thank you, Linda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for sharing your lovely spring day with us. So I am Barbara Galvin. I am coming to you from the lovely ShopRite of Parsippany. Get my screen up here. There we go. All right. Perfect. I am a ShopRite dietitian. I'm also a diabetes educator, and I'm here in ShopRite of Parsippany. I also work at the ShopRite of West Caldwell. So if anyone ever has any questions that they think of, even beyond our session today, please pop in or give me a call, and I would be happy to chat more about fantastic springtime foods. So just wanted to talk about the wonderful opportunities we have during the spring and with all the great foods that are now just growing and blooming, and just a season of opportunity, even though we know that it kind of seems like summer right now, but I think if we wait 24 hours, it'll be back to spring. So, the winter is comfort food. It's curling up, in cozy sweaters, sweatpants, binge watching our Netflix marathons. So now that spring is here, we're hoping that these beautiful, bright, shiny days are, encouraging us to kind of re-energize and re-engage in some of these healthy habits that we want to really take through the entire year. We have these beautiful milder temperatures. We have extra light, which just seems so significant in the morning, and then especially in the evening, that can make us feel a little more motivated to walk or just be outdoors a little bit more. We definitely crave lighter meals when it's warmer out. The winter time, we want that heavier comfort food. So now is an opportunity to start lightening up some of our menus as well. And again, just beautiful fresh fruits and vegetables are now in season, and we want to take advantage of that and just start the next few months off on a really great kick. So what do we want to learn today? So by the end, we would love for you to be able to discuss why eating seasonal fruits and vegetables are beneficial to your health, listing several fresh foods that are in season now. That would be fruits and vegetables. And then just naming a way that you can incorporate some of these beautiful springtime foods into your meal plans. So why do we want to eat in season and springtime foods? So a lot of this warm weather produce that is in season right now, mushrooms, bell peppers, zucchini, berries, a lot of these have wonderful micronutrients that our body thrives on. They also contain a great deal of water and fiber. And why is that important? Because fiber not only is very filling, again, it has that water content, but fiber also is just a fantastic benefit to a healthy GI tract. It's kind of like getting back to spring cleaning for our GI tract. Lots of that fiber in the broccoli, in the cherries, in the seeds of that strawberries really is helping your GI clean out, kind of get back in shape. So that's another real benefit of a lot of the foods that we're eating whole in the springtime. So another reason just to be eating in season and along with the seasons, number one, it's very healthy. Fruits and vegetables in season are really the most nutritious. So when we're eating fruits and veggies that are in season, they're at the peak of flavor. They're at the peak of containing all of those wonderful benefits that we want. They're ripe, they're delicious, and they are nutrient dense. Another thing is if we eat in the seasons that the food is perfect in, we are automatically getting a varied diet. You know, Mother Nature has its own schedule. So for instance, you know, in the summer, we're eating beautiful melons and maybe other nice juicy fruits. So cantaloupe in particular has vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, and folate. But then in the winter, when those summertime vegetables are not in season, we're eating seasonal vegetables in the winter, like root vegetables, like parsnips, which then balances out with vitamins K, vitamin E, magnesium, thiamine. So just by eating in season, we are getting those nutrients from Mother Nature that are really fantastic. And if we eat that way throughout the whole year, we're getting a balanced, nutrient dense produce every time we eat. Also, you know, economically and environmentally, eating in season is fantastic because seasonal produce is going to be more plentiful. So therefore, it's less expensive than those off-season foods. And it requires less energy to grow because, again, spring, summertime, we have those long sunlight-filled days. And less transit time. You know, a lot of, especially in New Jersey, we're going to have a lot of wonderful local produce. And that also adds up to a smaller carbon footprint because we don't have to ship things maybe from the other side of the planet to get foods that are in season that we all enjoy. So really adds up to a lot of wonderful benefits just to eat seasonally. So this is just part of a list. This is about 28 to 30 springtime foods that are in season. And some of them are going to be in season now throughout the summer. Some of them are, you know, they're not that they're short-lived. We can still see them in the produce section, but these are the ones right now that are going to be at the peak of flavor for the next month or maybe even 8 weeks. So just not even a full list. This is just a good list. So we're going to go over a few of these in depth just to kind of give you an idea of some of the really fantastic benefits of these fruits and vegetables in this springtime season. So when it comes to fruits, we're going to look at avocados, kiwis, mangoes, strawberries. And I just love this slide. It just kind of makes you happy. I mean, you can't be glum looking at this. It's just gorgeous. So let's start with our avocados. Yes, avocado is a fruit. It has a pit, as we all know. And one of the really unique benefits of avocado is it contains fat. Almost no other fruit contains fat. The good news is it is the very heart-friendly fat. It's those monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fats, which is heart healthy. We do need a small percentage of fat in our daily diet, you know, to help many systems in our body work. So this is the healthy kind. So avocado also contains potassium and it contains fiber. And again, it has a unique quality in that creaminess, that denseness that most other fruits don't have. So how could we eat it? It's great even just mashed up on toast. Of course, guacamole, that goes without saying, cubed up into a salad, cut up and then put into a smoothie to give it a richness and a thickness. Even just cut and put some salt and pepper or some seasoning on it and eaten that way. But let's keep in mind, it does contain a lot of fat. So we want to know that a third of an avocado, a third, is a serving. Now, you might have more than that, but just know that it is then going to be, maybe if you're having a whole avocado, you're having 3 servings of avocado. So we don't want anyone to be alarmed or caught off guard if they're having a full avocado on their toast every day and they're wondering why maybe they're gaining a little bit of weight, because it does have a good deal of fat, and fat is calorie dense. It is good for you, but just want to keep in mind. I don't want anyone getting angry with me. So how do we select avocados? So again, we want that ripe, we want that skin to be nice and smooth. The color is less important. We just want it to be nice and smooth, not wrinkly, because that means it might not be full of enough water. We want it to be a little bit soft, like we can kind of push it in a bit. And that means that it's ripe. If it's not ripe, you can still take it home if you plan to use it in a few days, because you can leave it at room temperature for 2 to 3 days and it will ripen on its own. So that's no worries, because sometimes you get like a sack of them. That would kind of help you to decide how far in advance that you want to purchase that. Once you do cut it though open, there will be that enzymatic browning. So in order to stop that, you want to squeeze on some lemon or some lime to stop that. Or you want to put some saran wrap on it and store it in an airtight container in the fridge. Or you can throw it in the freezer if you think you're going to use it later on for something, like a guacamole or for a smoothie. You can throw it in the fridge. So that is the way to store our avocado. Really great. Kiwi, the small and mighty kiwi. So what are the benefits here? Now you can see on that screen, the picture of the sliced kiwi, all of those gorgeous little seeds. So that's what contributes to the high fiber content of kiwi. And even the skin, yes, you can eat the skin. You just want to give it a wash, maybe like a little bit of an abrasion with a veggie brush, and then you can eat the skin as well. It's particularly high in potassium. It's got vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin K. So really a powerhouse in these little guys. It goes great in yogurt if you want to dice it up, put it into a salsa, into a smoothie, fruit salad, of course, or you can even just eat it the way it is. So we want to select our kiwi, nice and smooth skin, right? Free of wrinkles, because we want to make sure it's not dehydrated or, lacking any water. And we want to make sure that, again, it's like a little bit soft to the touch. I'm not sure if you can see that well, but it's not, not hard. It just has a little bit of that give. We can keep it at room temperature until it's ripe, and then we can refrigerate it for up to 4 weeks. So it does last for a while. We just don't want to store it near some other fruits like bananas, apples, pears, avocado. They give off this ethylene gas, which will make the kiwi ripen very, very quickly. Mangoes. So I will apologize if I have mango spelled with an ES, because I've seen it now twice, 2 different ways. So mangoes plural. So mangoes, really, again, really beautiful, very delicious, packed with a really dense flavor, high in vitamin C, vitamin A, because again, it has that orange flesh. So orange flesh foods contain vitamin A, which is really great. Of course, beta carotene for our eyesight. So really wonderful. It's got folate, it's got fiber because it's a nice dense flesh, and it contains antioxidants. Fantastic with black bean salad, a salsa, sorbet, and even on a fruit kebab, because again, it's firm. So if you're grilling meats, it'll hold up really nicely to that. So again, how do we go and select our mangoes? It's again, not by looks, it's by feel. We want to press it in a little bit. We want to give it a gentle squeeze and make sure that it has a little bit of give. If we get ones in advance for maybe the weekend and they're not ripe, we can put it in a paper bag to kind of speed up that ripening. A whole ripe mango can be stored in the fridge for about 5 days. They can be peeled, they can be cubed. You can put them in an airtight container, and then you can even freeze them for up to 6 months. So mangoes are a really, really great fruit to throw into smoothies, throw into these salsas or these sauces that you're making with any kind of grilled meats for the summer. It just really packs a punch. Strawberries, of course, we can't forget our beautiful, beautiful springtime strawberries. So they are high in magnesium. I know a lot of people are very interested in magnesium these days. So strawberries are high in magnesium, manganese, which is another mineral, potassium, vitamin C, and folate. So strawberries are really, really one of the superfoods. Berries in and of itself are one of the superfood categories. So strawberry is the early season queen of that category. great as a frozen yogurt topping, of course, as a jam, infused in water, on a salad, just to eat as well. So they are a wonderful, wonderful springtime food. So again, we want to choose our strawberries, beautiful red, ripe color. Look at all of those seeds. That is why a strawberry is so high in fiber. There's approximately 200 seeds on every strawberry. So your GI tract, again, is getting a nice little workout, a nice clean out, because these seeds are going through your whole digestive tract and really, bulking up your body, cleaning out any dead cells that are no longer useful, making way for beautiful, fresh, healthy cells in your GI tract. So again, we want those tops to be nice and green and intact. We want them to be nice and red. They'll stay in the refrigerator for about 3 days. And again, this is where, people sometimes say produce is so expensive. It's only expensive if we waste it. And I know what happens sometimes. You get a container of strawberries, you eat them for a day or so, they get shoved in the back of the fridge, and then you kind of forget them. And then when you pull them out again 4 or 5 days later, they're furry. So we don't want that to happen. So we want to eat those strawberries as soon as we can, or just keep them to the front of the fridge so you're more apt to grab them. We want to only rinse them when we're about to eat them. We don't want to bring them home and rinse like an entire container, because that's going to make them soggy. So we want to keep them fresh in the fridge until we're about to eat them. And then we just want to give them a wash, drain them out, and then enjoy them. So again, strawberries can't go wrong. They are a fabulous fruit, lots of fiber, lots of great vitamins and minerals, low cal. Can't say enough about them. So now, again, we have so many more springtime fruits, but I just wanted to give you a highlight of some of those that we mentioned, just because they are unique kind of in their own right. And so now we just want to talk a little bit about our springtime veggies. So again, it's the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful 6 months of gorgeous produce, especially here in New Jersey. And so we just want to talk about a few of them. So first, let's talk about our asparagus. Again, asparagus they're not only green, they are in lots of beautiful, beautiful colors, including purple. If anyone has seen them, they are just gorgeous. So they are packed with vitamin K, vitamin B6. Again, all the B vitamins help us use our food for energy metabolism. So they're just great to have in our diet. Copper, folate, and iron. So a lot of beautiful minerals as well as vitamins. So just laying them out, kind of like the photo here, laying them out on a cookie sheet, roast them with a little olive oil or grilling them, beautiful. In a frittata, chopped up in a salad, using them in a stir fry. Any of these things are great. You can serve them room temperature, you can serve them hot, you can serve them cold. So versatile with our asparagus. So how do we want to make sure we're getting the right ones? Well, first we want to look at those tips. We want to make sure that the tips are firm, right? That they're not looking like they're dried out. We want to make it look like the stalks are plump and firm and full. We want to make sure that we give them a sniff, because they kind of are delicate. So we want to make sure that they're not overripe and kind of on the back nine, right? We want to make sure that they are really nice and fresh. So again, they could be green, purple, white. You just want to make sure that whatever color it is, that it's a nice, bright, vibrant color. So they are delicate. So really for the best taste, and to make sure that we don't waste the expense, we want to make sure that we try to eat them at least within the day, preferably that day. If you're going to eat them the next day, or schedules change and dinner plans got rearranged, we want to just cut the ends off a bit, maybe about a third, half an inch, and then put them in some water in a glass, and then put them in the fridge. We can put a plastic bag on top too, just to make sure that that moisture stays intact. So again, asparagus, fantastic. And it actually acts as a little bit of a diuretic as well. So that could be helpful for those who would like that effect. All right, so beets. Beets are like strangely polarizing. People either love beets or they're like, oh, I don't like beets. So again, beets are one of these beautiful springtime signs of warm weather. So they are high in nitrates, which help to open blood vessels. And these are the good nitrates, again, these vasodilators, which help our blood run beautifully. They have anti-inflammatory qualities. They have antioxidants, just like a lot of the other red, purpley, blue fruits and vegetables, very high in these antioxidants, high in potassium. And the beet greens, again, the green part of beets, are also edible. So you could make a beet salad with our beets with the greens as well. High in vitamins A and K, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, just like calcium is in a lot of greens. So if anyone is dairy intolerant, then eating lots of fresh greens are really a helpful way to get calcium in your diet. So again, beets in a salad with goat cheese, it seems like it just goes together. Even roasted beets with goat cheese, yum, delicious. Blended with hummus, and it makes a beautiful fuchsia hummus. So it's kind of fun too to bring that to a party. As beet chips, kind of sliced really thin and roasted, and you can juice it as well. Just want to make sure you're not wearing, a white outfit when you're juicing your beets, because it will look like you murdered someone, and we don't want that. So if you were juicing your beets, just realize that you're kind of missing out on that beautiful, dense fiber component, but it's not something that we want to discourage you from doing. Just know that if you're eating the whole beet, you are getting a lot more of that fiber. So again, selection. We wanted to look for beets that, again, are small and firm, right? We want them to be nice and firm, not mushy or not soft, smooth skin. We want those greens to be nice and beautiful, not wilty. And we want the tap root to be attached. See that little tap root? See, I didn't even know the name of this before I created this presentation. Taproot, we want that to be attached. Again, that just shows that it's fresh, it's from, from the ground, and that we're not gonna have any decay or dryness coming up the root. So what we wanna do when we store these, we wanna cut off some of the greens close to the top, and we wanna store them in our veggie crisper in our refrigerator. We can wrap them with some paper towels to prolong some of that freshness. And then again, don't forget to use the greens in your salad. Speaking of greens, look at that segue. So speaking of greens, this is really the time to shine with the beginning of greens season. So in the spring, we also see a lot of these microgreens and baby greens, and they just pack a punch as well in terms of fabulous, fabulous nutrition. So when we're talking about spring greens, we're talking about spinach, arugula, lettuce, Swiss chard, and collard greens in particular. So they have a combination of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, really a powerhouse right there. So it's not like they're just filling. They are filling, which is great, filled with water, and really can help us feel satisfied, but they are packed with these nutrients. Also have folate and potassium. Collard greens in particular are a great source of lutein for our eyes and zeaxanthin also for our eyes. You might recognize these combination if you take some supplements for your eyes. There's a popular one that says lutein and zeaxanthin right on the box. So you could get a really great benefit from collard greens if that is important to you. Also, again, it's a green, great source of dietary calcium. You can put these greens, of course, in a salad, sandwich, pizza, smoothie. You can put them in an omelet. Use the leaves as a wrap. Really, any way that you think of, you can throw these greens in, especially if they're the microgreens. They're so small, they will melt down really almost imperceptibly in hot foods. And so you don't have to worry about it imparting a very strong flavor. So what do we want to do when we're looking for our beautiful greens? We want to make sure that the leaves are crisp, that, it looks vibrant. It's got a nice, vibrant color, doesn't look dull. If we're buying our greens in bags or a big box, which is very convenient, we just want to make sure that we're looking for these bags and boxes that don't have a lot of moisture in them. So what happens as they transport, and again, we know it's been very warm these last few days, sometimes in the refrigerated transports, and then now they're exposed to heat being unloaded. We just want to make sure that not too much moisture has collected in those bags, in those containers, because we don't want the delicate leaves to get waterlogged and soggy, So what do we want to do? We want to give them a wash and dry them with paper towels. We can wrap them in those paper towels and store them in a plastic bag or a container in our fridge. Those paper towels are going to absorb any excess moisture that we might not be able to get off after we give it a wash. So then the leaves don't get, slimy. Nothing worse than digging into a salad and it is slimy. Springtime onions and leeks and even garlic, they're all in the same allium family. So leeks and onions, garlic, scallions, chives, and shallots or shallots. They're all in the same great, wonderful family. So when we're looking for leeks, it's funny because the leeks look like the giant Big Brother version of scallions, right? If they're next to one another in the produce section, and I'm like, this looks like the Incredible Hulk, and the leeks look like David Banner, for anyone who's a Marvel Comics fan. So how do we want to choose our leeks and our onions? So we want to make sure that our onions are firm and that they're heavy. They feel heavy for their size. That means that they have a good amount of water inside their flesh. They're not dried out. We want to make sure that they have their little top and that they're not bruised at all. Because, onions look sturdy, but if they're manhandled, then they get bruises like we would. And we don't want that to become like an unusable part of our onion. Our leeks, we want them to be nice and firm. We want them to have that dark green top, and we want these nice white necks. And the bulbs, we don't want any cracks in the bottoms, because again, we don't want that to be dried out as it's kind of coming up the leek stem. We want to store our onions in just a cool, dry place, whether that's kind of like a fruit stand, in a cellar. My mother would put them under the sink, wherever you think is cool and dry. We want to put cut onions in a sealed plastic bag or an airtight container. We've all opened the fridge one day and you're like, whoa, you're hit with this smell of onions from that onion gas that's released from the flesh. So we want to really wrap that up good. When it comes, we don't want to trim or wash the leeks before we're going to store them. We want to do that when we're going to use them. So we want to wrap the leeks in plastic wrap to just contain their odor and just contain the freshness. Whoops. Sorry. So again, garlic is also in this family. And not only do, leeks, onions, garlics, shallots, not only do they, are they really just fantastic for us, but again, they are vasodilators. They help open up our blood vessels. They are anti-inflammatory, and they are the biggest bang for your buck in terms of flavor that has no salt, no sugar, no fat. So we all know just by adding garlic and onions to any dish, it's like the foundational start to so many wonderful dishes. And it is going to add a ton of flavor. It's going to add health benefits, and you're not going to get anything that you don't want. So some other things I just wanted to talk about, in addition to these fabulous fruits and vegetables, I wanted to just talk about some springtime habits that we really want to either re-engage in or, just kind of maybe take it up a notch. And we're just going to feel those benefits throughout the whole, the whole season, summer, hopefully take it through the whole year. And number one that I think we don't talk about sometimes enough is getting sleep. There is definitely like a shift in our sleep patterns from the darker, cooler months to the lighter, brighter, warmer months. So we really want to be aiming for at least 7 hours of sleep per night. It is so vital to help our body feel as healthy as possible, help our mind be as sharp as possible, and just be able to heal. If anything ever, harms our health, we want to be able to heal. And sleep is really the number one way to do that. So for adults, we really need at least 7 hours of sleep per night. And I could do a whole routine about sleep hygiene and sleep routines, but that is another presentation. But sleep, we really want to kind of reinvest in our sleep routine when the springtime. Children age 6 to 12 actually need 9 to 12 hours of sleep. Teenagers, they need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. We all know that those teens are up on their phone, not getting enough sleep, chronically sleep deprived, and it really, really adds up. So we really want to emphasize sleep. We want to be sun safe. We want to make sure that we're wearing long sleeve shirts, a hat. Yesterday was a gorgeous, gorgeous day, but we want to make sure that we're being safe in the sun and in the warm weather. So we definitely want to protect our skin. We want to make sure that we are drinking enough water. I thought I had that on my slide. Oh, I must have missed it somewhere. I'll get that everyone to you. But again, so part of being sun safe is definitely drinking enough water. We want to stay hydrated. Yesterday was a particularly warm day. Today is as well. And I had somebody here at the store actually tell me that he felt very unwell yesterday. And then when we talked about it, he was outdoors for several hours and just not drinking enough water. So we really want to take advantage of these beautiful long days, but we want to make sure that we are staying hydrated. We also want to make sure that we are taking advantage of this beautiful weather by getting enough activity. So, I know in the winter, it's really hard to get motivated if we're waking up and going to work in the dark and coming home in the dark. But now, hopefully, again, Mother Nature is helping encourage us to get out there and be active. So we really want to take advantage of that as well. And again, I apologize. All that was on a different slide, and I must have somehow managed to leave it off. So I'll make sure it's on the slides that you all get. So we want to make sure that we're hydrated. We want to make sure that we are getting as much outdoor activity as we possibly can. Sleep, and more sleep. And then again, of course, being sun safe as we get into these warmer, sunny months. So I hope that all of that was beneficial to you. Again, helping everyone feel excited about springtime. Again, I know it feels like summertime right now, but we'll be back to spring tomorrow, I hear. So just want to make sure that we're taking advantages of really all that Mother Nature is offering in terms of fruits, in terms of vegetables, in terms of sunshine and mild weather to just help us create the healthiest lifestyle we can possibly have.
Well, then, thank you for joining us. We kindly ask that you take a few minutes after today's webinar to complete the program survey. The link to the survey has been added to the chat for your convenience. And a special thank you to Barbara for lending your time and expertise.
Pleasure.
If you have any additional questions or comments, you can send an email to communityhealth@atlantichealth.org, or you can call 1-844-472-8499. And that concludes our webinar. Have a good day, everyone.
Take care.